We asked the kids for input. We went around the table and we asked them what they liked about Jonathan, and both of them were like, the cake. Who is this person that keeps sending these personalized cards at Christmas for like 2 years straight? I don't know who this guy is, but cute baby.
It also somehow feels like he just really cares about making the right match of the right home at the right time. And you could tell that he was really thinking about what we need and want outside of just the time that we were spending together looking at homes. So I say anything else you need to know is just you can trust Jonathan and you should hire him. I'm Christina.
And I'm Linda.
And we know Jonathan because he helped us to buy a property in the kind of Junction Triangle area, and he helped us to sell our townhome, 1 Ruttan, Unit 210. I think I might have seen a YouTube video or something, and then reached out, and we started talking kind of 2 years before we met, because I was interested in thinking about, we were thinking about at some point making a move, and so we spoke a couple times over the last 2 years. But yeah, we really did like the Christmas cards.
Christmas cards. That's how Jonathan hooked us in. Jonathan is just really knowledgeable. He was super helpful in helping explain the process. When we were buying, he kind of explained to us how different homes work and the structure of it and what that would mean in terms of maintenance. You know, at the beginning, when we just did an introductory meeting, there was like no pressure. Like I didn't feel like I was being roped into a sale of any sort. He just kind of gave us information, and I really liked how he was really, really knowledgeable.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's probably like one of the most important things. We didn't want to feel like we were being pressured in any way. It's like the biggest purchase, and selling of our unit was also stressful. So we didn't want to feel pressured, and we never did. That kind of firmed up the relationship because we felt like we could trust him.
It was a very positive one. Jonathan was very available by email and text. His responses were super quick. We would discuss things, but then Jonathan's input to kind of bounce ideas off of. And I felt like he was working in our best interest too. Yeah. So it was a really positive one.
Working with Jonathan was easy. It was like he was engaged, and we knew that we had his attention, and that we weren't kind of like, we probably were one of many, but we didn't feel like we were one of many clients. We felt like, just like we could trust him. We could trust that he had our best interests in mind, that he knew what he was doing.
He understood our like wants and needs.
Yeah. Also, when we went to a property that didn't seem like it would really work, he would be kind of honest about that with us, which is good because we weren't just trying to buy anything. We were trying to buy the right house. It's a stressful experience to try to buy a house and figure out if it's the right time to buy a house. So working with Jonathan just made it easy to kind of figure out that process, to help us to nail down to what we did want, because we'd been living in our current house for 10 years. It's not like we'd seen houses in 10 years, so we didn't really know what was out there and what we could realistically get. And so it was great to have him as the resource that we were leaning on for expertise during that process, because we needed an expert, and he was just really invaluable.
It's been 10 years since we bought a place, and trends are different now, and I think buying and selling strategies are different now, and I felt that Jonathan knew what kind of like the strategies were and what agents might be playing at. It's hard when you're trying to chase the house you want to get caught up in it. I never felt pressured to like kind of upping, or we had a hard limit, and I know we were close, and Jonathan didn't try to push us
into a zone where we didn't feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
He knew about painters, he knew about stagers, so that's about the sale of our own place. And then he project managed it when we went away to Mexico.
Yes, definitely went above and beyond there. But
also because he has a background in understanding like structure of buildings, like that was incredibly helpful for us, because we don't know anything about the structure of buildings. So that was like integral to our, I think, trust building in his abilities, but also just helped us to kind of learn what it was that we were actually looking for, and how to tell that like a property wasn't going to be a good fit for us. one of his strengths is that he does understand how like buildings work, and it helped us to trust him to know exactly that what we were looking at was in fact like, you know, a well-built home versus something that would need some work. Therefore, it would be more expensive, and to kind of see that as a whole so that we could make a really well-informed decision.
Yeah, and I think, but I also think in the selling process, we were concerned with our unit, like what upgrades to make, and Jonathan knew what was value added and would make like a good bang for your buck type of investment. You know, we were thinking we should replace carpets or flooring, but you know, Jonathan pointed out that necessarily might not be where we need to focus our energies. And in the end, and that was true when we ended up selling. I'm glad we didn't.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad we didn't make that investment in upgrading the floors, because it sold, you know,
Without that.
Yeah, without that. So it was really helpful that Jonathan knew how to make more pizzazz to our units, and then picked a good stager as well, and really helped sell in quickly and at a price we were happy with.
He was always very prompt at responding to any questions that we had. I felt like he had a really good sense of value. There were a couple properties that we bid on and we didn't get, which worked out because we got this house that we really, really love. But in that process of bidding for those houses, like, it was always very clear what he thought the value would be, and then we never bid over what we felt comfortable with.
Helping prepare our house for the sale, I think Jonathan pitched in way more than I would expect of an agent. Mm-hmm. That definitely went above and beyond. I think how you organize the showings, we kind of had our wish list and our area that we were interested in, and you kind of said, but what about these? And sometimes they were like, oh, we didn't think about these. But then sometimes we were like, no, not what we're interested in. So it was nice that he thought to expand our search, just because we only know certain pockets of Toronto. So he knew, well, if you like this area, you might like this.
And we ended up buying in our current area, but I feel very settled in that because we did look in other areas, and we liked them, but we ended up ruling them out, and I feel so much more confident in doing that as opposed to where we started, where we just wanted to look in our area. And I think we would have kind of wondered what if we hadn't looked kind of more broadly. The other thing is that since selling our unit, there have been other units that have come up in the complex. They've sold for less, but we've also heard that their realtors were saying we have to make sure that our unit looks as good as their unit looks as good as the one that Jonathan's had staged for us. So it was like a highly regarded comparable.
Wow, that's amazing to hear that.
Totally, yeah. Do it.
Yes, I would totally back up any decision to take Jonathan as a realtor. He focuses all his energy and time, gives it 110%, really knows the market and how to buy and sell well. So no regrets in choosing Jonathan.
Yeah, we've already suggested
already
many of our
recommended,
friends and family work with Jonathan, and we will work with him again when we move, which hopefully won't be for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
So I say anything else you need to know is just you can trust Jonathan and you should hire him.